Detailed predictions for Final Destination Bloodlines Part 6. Based on the series' style and main premise, which is based on cheating death and trying to escape inevitable fate, here is a detailed visualization of how the events of Final Destination Bloodlines will unfold, with anticipated scenes and key moments. Opening scene. First nightmare, airport and crashed plane. Night. Crowded airport. The story begins with Stephanie Lewis, a college student, waiting for a flight with a group of her classmates. As they sit in the departure lounge, the camera begins to focus on several characters who will later play important roles, such as Jake, her best friend who always makes fun of her fears. Lisa, her classmate who has a fear of flying. Marcus, the reckless young man who boasts about his lack of fear of death. Mr. Bennett, a middle-aged man who appears abnormally anxious. As everyone boards the plane, Stephanie takes her seat next to Lisa. As the doors close and takeoff begins, there is intense turbulence, and then suddenly one of the engines explodes, causing the plane to shake violently. The camera pans between the terrified passengers, before the nose of the plane completely separates and everyone begins to fall toward the ground. Stephanie sees her friends die one by one in brutal fashion. Jake is pulled out of the plane and collides with the disintegrating wing, which tears him in half. Lisa is burned alive when the passenger cabin catches fire. Marcus is crushed by metal debris as he falls. Mr. Bennett is stabbed by a sharp piece of the plane's fuselage. As the plane approaches the ground, Stephanie screams, then suddenly wakes up in the airport before boarding. Scene 2. Escaping fate. Stephanie realizes she's had a premonition of the crash. She screams in panic and tries to convince the others not to board the plane. At first, no one believes her, but when small events from her vision begin to materialize, such as a coffee cup falling to the floor in the exact same way she saw it, some of the characters begin to get nervous. Eventually, Stephanie convinces some of them to get off the plane, including Jake, Lisa, Marcus, and Mr. Bennett, but the rest of the passengers laugh at her. Moments after takeoff, everyone looks out the window and sees the plane explode in the sky. Shock and horror spread among them, but relief overcomes them because they survived, or so they think. Scene 3. Death begins to follow them. Days after the accident, strange deaths begin to occur in the exact order in which they were supposed to die. Death 1. Lisa bloody elevator accident. Lisa boards the elevator in an old apartment building. Suddenly, the elevator stops between two floors, and the doors open abnormally. She tries to get out, but the elevator suddenly plummets, cutting her in half. Death 2. Marcus survives being hit but doesn't survive. He drives his car fast, claiming he's unafraid of dying. He narrowly avoids a speeding truck. He laughs, but doesn't notice a metal rod hanging from a truck in front of him, passing through the windshield and impaling him on the head. Death 3. Mr. Bennett's silent explosion. He returns home and begins fixing the gas heater. He hears strange whispers but ignores them. Suddenly, a spark ignites when he lights his cigarette, and the entire place explodes in a horrific moment. Scene 4. Searching for an explanation, meeting William Bloodworth. Stephanie is frightened and searches for answers. She arrives at the town morgue, where she is met by William Bloodworth, Tony Todd. He warns her that death has its own plan and can only be tricked temporarily. He tells her of one way to avoid death: passing the curse on to someone else by intentionally killing someone. Scene 5. The final showdown and escape from fate. Only Jake and Stephanie remain alive. They decide to try William's plan to kill a stranger, but they hesitate to go through with it. Suddenly, things around them start moving erratically. Death is approaching. A series of violent incidents leads to Jake's horrific death, possibly crushed by massive construction equipment. Stephanie flees to a train station, but doesn't notice a speeding train coming her way. The camera pans slowly as she screams, and then the final cut to black. Final scene. The shocking twist post-credits. A scene takes place in the city morgue, where the coroner's assistant enters the room. We see Stephanie's body on the table, and suddenly, she opens her eyes. The power goes out for a moment, and when it comes back on, her body is gone. Has she managed to cheat death? Or is this just the beginning of a new curse? The end. Or maybe not. Conclusion. This elaborate anticipation reflects the series' style of creating terrifying and unexpected scenes, while maintaining suspense until the very last moment. If the movie is executed like this, it will be one of the most exciting and bloody parts in the series. And here is the end of today's video predictions, dear viewer. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video. Until we meet again in another video.